2001, the most exciting year in University of North Dakota football history. Playing in their brand new indoor home, the 13,500-seat Alaris Center, the Sioux played 10 home games, including 3 playoff games, and set an all-time attendance record, attracting more than 100,000 fans. Before the season, head coach Dale Lennon said he believed his team would contend for a North Central Conference championship and a national championship. The Sioux took home both titles, their 21st NCC title and their first national title, earning a school record 14 wins along the way. The season began in Ellensburg, Washington, against Central Washington. Senior tailback Jed Perkarevich racks up 117 of UND's 238 rushing yards. Blaze Larson's 61-yard run leads to a 3-yard touchdown run by Perkarevich. And Craig Riondo's interception and 37-yard return sets up a Cameron Paterka field goal. But Kelby Klosterman's 40-yard TD pass to Dan Graff proves to be the margin of victory. Led by Eric Schmidt's 8 tackles, UND's defense gets 6 sacks and holds the Wildcats to 23 rushing yards in a 17-10 Sioux triumph. Next, the first of 5 consecutive Sioux games in the Alaris Center. It's the Potato Bowl, and Minnesota Crookston is the first opponent in the new facility. Cameron Paterka wastes no time making himself at home, booting a school record 5 field goals, the longest from 54 yards out. Jed Perkarevich scores the first touchdown in the new stadium. Kelby Klosterman passed for 234 yards and 1 touchdown. A 68-yard strike to Dan Graff, who had 6 catches for 128 yards. Cornerback Craig Riondo gets a defensive touchdown, returning an interception 73 yards. The Sioux defense forces 5 turnovers in all and limits Crookston to 105 total yards as UND rolls 57-6. The season's first conference game is against Northern Colorado. UND does all its scoring in the first half, starting with a 50-yard field goal by Paterka, the first of 2 in the game for the senior. Perkarevich gets UND's only touchdown on a 9-yard scoring run and finishes with 186 yards on 30 carries. The Sioux defense is the story on this day, holding the Bears to 18 total yards on just 18 plays in the first half. North Dakota wins its 3rd straight game, 13-7. The Sioux got a break from conference play in their meeting with New Haven, but it was not a break for the Sioux defense. UND collects an incredible 14 sacks, plus 3 interceptions and 1 safety. Eric Schmidt had 4 sacks, Tom Irvin 3, and Travis O'Neill 2. Klosterman faced the offense with 248 passing yards and 3 touchdowns as the Sioux stormed to a 42-10 victory. The Sioux maintained their momentum the following week against South Dakota State. The offense stayed in high gear with Klosterman throwing for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jed Perkarevich rushed 25 times for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Dan Graff picked up a career-high 236 all-purpose yards, 129 on punt returns, 61 on receptions, and 46 on kick returns. Cameron Paterka enters the Sioux record books with his 3rd field goal of the game. This 53-yarder is his 53rd career field goal, making him the all-time leader at UND. Another fine defensive day saw the Sioux limit the Jackrabbits to 59 rushing yards and 157 total yards. The Sioux forced 2 fumbles and recorded 5 sacks in a 44-9 win. Game 6, the Super Bowl of North Dakota. The Sioux meet arch-rival North Dakota State before a capacity crowd of 13,500. The Sioux defense dominates again, allowing only 140 total yards, the fewest they have allowed the Bison in 30 years. The Sioux opened the game by holding the Bison to 7 consecutive 3-and-outs. UND did not allow a first down until there were 6 minutes left in the second quarter. NDSU crossed midfield only once in the entire game. The Sioux added 3 interceptions and 2 sacks, and linebacker Travis O'Neill led the D with 11 tackles. Meanwhile, the offense gained 260 yards, with Klosterman and Graff connecting for 2 TDs. And with Perkarevich sidelined early by an injury, Jim Miller provided solid relief with 57 yards on 13 carries. The Nickel Trophy goes to North Dakota by a score of 19-7. Week 7, back on the road to St. Cloud State. The Sioux defense racks up 4 sacks, with free safety Adam Stratton making 10 tackles and Travis O'Neill 9. Jim Miller, making his first start, rushed for 148 yards and 2 TDs on 20 carries. But the Sioux needed some late heroics to win this one. Klosterman finished with 23 completions on 32 attempts for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. Trailing 28-21 in the final quarter, Klosterman fires a 32-yard scoring strike to Jesse Smith to tie the game at 28 with 3:43 to play. Then with 19 seconds left, Klosterman and Graff make their second TD connection of the day, a 30-yard scoring toss, giving UND a 7-point lead. Graff's second touchdown catch was the 20th of his career, breaking a school record. Dustin Thornburg's interception seals a thrilling 35-28 Sioux victory. The next game against Nebraska-Omaha would be the only Sioux loss of the year. Klosterman threw for 237 yards and 2 touchdowns, and his streak of 172 consecutive passes without an interception came to an end. Luke Schleisner caught a career-high 6 passes for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Cameron Paterka kicked a 53-yard field goal. The Sioux outgained Omaha 279 yards to 144, but lost a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Omaha prevails in overtime, 27-24. The Sioux hit the road for a game with Minnesota State Mankato. UND breaks it open by scoring 3 touchdowns in a span of 6 minutes and 2 seconds in the third quarter. The Sioux go ahead for good on Klosterman's 78-yard scoring toss to Jesse Smith. Just 23 seconds later, Craig Riondo gets another interception and brings it back 47 yards for a score. Riondo's 2 interceptions give him 13 for his career. Defensively, linebacker Eric Schmidt records 11 tackles and a sack. The Sioux return to the win column, 28-14. For Week 10, it's back to the Alara Center for a showdown with Augustana. It's another offensive show for Klosterman, who throws for 223 yards. His 4 TD passes give him 20 for the season to set a school record. Jesse Smith caught 2 scoring passes as the Sioux gained 327 yards of offense. Linebacker Eric Schmidt leads the Sioux defense with 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, a sack, and 2 quarterback hurries. The Sioux allowed only 128 yards in the first 55 minutes of the game. The final, 37-14 North Dakota. The Sioux knew that a win in the regular season finale at South Dakota would make them outright North Central Conference champions. The Sioux respond in the first half with 3 interceptions and 3 fumble recoveries. For the 3rd time in the season, Riondo returns an interception for a touchdown, this one a 60-yarder. The Sioux limit the Coyotes to 59 yards in the first half while accumulating 280 yards of their own. UND rolls up a 38-0 halftime lead. Klosterman passing for 222 yards and 3 touchdowns, all in the second quarter. Dan Graff had 7 catches for a career total of 142, breaking a school record that had stood since 1974. The Sioux gained 486 offensive yards in their 10th win of the year, a 48-7 triumph that makes them outright NCC champions. As the top seed in the Midwest region, the Sioux open the postseason at home against Winona State. And it's a record-setting day for Klosterman and Smith. Klosterman ties a Division II playoff record with 6 touchdown passes, and Smith ties a Division II playoff record with 4 touchdown catches. Klosterman ends up 27 of 32 for 341 yards, while Smith grabs 6 passes for 133 yards. Tight end John Kybig hauls in 2 TD catches. Perkarevich runs for 143 yards on 26 carries. The Sioux gain a season-high 508 yards. The Sioux set a school record with their 11th win of the year, and they set a record for most points in the playoffs in a 42-28 victory. The national quarterfinals brought Pittsburgh State of Kansas to the Alerus Center. The Sioux defense was in fine form, holding the Gorillas to minus 19 rushing yards and 134 total yards. Travis O'Neill's 10 tackles included 4 tackles for losses of 17 yards. Klosterman's 16-yard TD pass to Graff provided all the points the Sioux would need. Later, Klosterman strikes again with a 47-yard scoring toss to Smith. But again, the Gorillas could not reply. Josh Kotelnicki thwarts them with a sack for a loss of 11 yards. The Sioux bring the fans to their feet with this unforgettable play, a 62-yard touchdown pass from Klosterman to tight end Chad Mustard. The tackle-breaking, tight-roping touchdown makes it 20-0 Sioux. Klosterman finishes with 252 yards and 3 TDs. Just before halftime, Cameron Paterka makes history with a 59-yard field goal. It not only ties his career long, but it's the longest field goal in the NCAA playoffs in any division. North Dakota stifles the Gorillas 38-0 for the school's first ever postseason shutout and largest margin of victory in Sioux playoff history. December 1st, North Dakota's final home game is a national semifinal matchup against California Davis. Never was the home field advantage more apparent than on this day. A vocal Sioux crowd of 11,696 helped force the Aggies into 7 illegal procedure penalties. Klosterman and Graff combine on 2 touchdown passes of 25 and 12 yards. On 4 possessions, UC Davis got within 10 yards of the end zone, but came up empty each time. Cornerback Dustin Thornburg had 2 interceptions, the first one in the end zone. In the fourth quarter, UC Davis had a 1st and goal from the 3, but again could not overcome a stingy Sioux defense. Aggies threatened again late in the game and were denied by the Sioux once more. Perperevich rushed for 101 yards on 20 carries, and Klosterman threw for 141 yards. The 14-2 win sends the Sioux to their first ever national championship game. The final Sioux road trip is the biggest, to Florence, Alabama, and the NCAA National Championship game against Grand Valley State of Michigan. UND's opening drive is highlighted by a 27-yard pass from Klosterman to Graff. Cameron Paterka gives the Sioux their first points with a 36-yard field goal. Senior strong safety Mike O'Neill picks off 2 Laker passes in the first half. Sioux trail 7-3 at halftime, but defense comes through again early in the third quarter. The Sioux special teams provide a key play here as Riondo blocks a 20-yard field goal try. Sioux regain the lead in the fourth quarter off a fake reverse. Klosterman's bootleg fakes everyone out for a 9-yard touchdown. The Lakers took a 14-10 lead with 2:46 to play, but the Sioux respond with a 9-play, 80-yard drive. On 3rd and 10, Klosterman scrambles for 8 yards. Klosterman converts on 4th and 2, keeping for 7 yards. Then on 1st down, a 6-yard pass to Perkarevich. The drive comes down to 4th and 4 from the Sioux 41. The call, a pass to Luke Schleissner, who makes the play of the year.
This is the last chance for the Sioux. 55 seconds ago, Klosterman, the blitz is on, sets up, fires, caught! Schleissner, 50, 45, 40, down the sideline. Luke is going to go at the 20, the 10, the 5. He's at the 1-yard line, and he stopped. Oh, my Lord! Unbelievable, Luke Schleissner.
4th and 4, the play is designed to get 5 or 6 yards. So I was thinking, I knew I was the #1 target on that player, or Kelby's first read. So I was thinking, just get open, get the first down, and let's keep this thing going. And I turned around and broke the one tackle, and then I got a great block from Jesse Smith out towards the sideline and cut it back out there. And I mean, what can you say? It's hard to put into words, this feeling.
It was pretty unbelievable. I can't really describe it. Didn't mean to do that, and wasn't supposed to happen that way, and it just turned out, and you can't describe it. Things just happen sometimes, and just Luke got there and made the play.
At our house, we always make fun of Luke Schleissner for not breaking tackles, and what he did today was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen, I think, in football. All of a sudden, 89 gets in the clear, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
On the next play, Perkarevich puts UND ahead to stay with 29 seconds left. The Sioux hold on from there and claim the first national championship in UND history with a 17-14 victory.
I'm just so happy to win one for the University of North Dakota and Coach Lennon and the coaching staff, and I'm just happy to be a part of this senior class, and it's unbelievable.
It's going to go down in UND history forever. They're going to be talking about that play for decades and decades, about Luke Schleissner in Alabama making that play, and we just never gave up.
Great way to go out. The only way to go out as a senior and go out on a win, which is a national championship. You have to give credit to everybody on the team today. It was a team effort. It's a team effort all season long, and it's just that's what's great about it. Is to have that closeness with my team and teammates, and it's just a great feeling.
Great group of senior leaders, and words can't describe the feeling I have right now, and it's just amazing. So yeah, we had fun this year. I hope the fans had fun too.
Hello, my friend, we'll meet again. It's been a while, when should we begin? Feels like forever. Within my heart of memories, a perfect love that you gave to me. Oh, I remember when you were with me. I'm free, I'm careless, I believe. Above the others will fly. This brings tears to my eyes, my sacrifice. We've seen our share of ups and downs. Oh, how quickly life can turn around in an instant. It feels so good to reunite within yourself and within your mind. Let's find peace there, 'cause when you are with me, I'm free, I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. This brings tears to my eyes, my sacrifice. I just want to say hello again. I just want to say hello again. When you are with me, I'm free, I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. This brings tears to my eyes. 'Cause when you are with me, I'm free, I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. This brings tears to my eyes, my sacrifice. My sacrifice. fight.